Ah, ah, am I live? Am I live? Am I live? Am I live? I'm alive. All right. P. Diddy
Am I live? Am I
free.
live?
Ah, fuck you. All right.
What an infuriating and sad day. I guess all the baby oil paid off for P. Diddy because he was too slippery for the justice system.
I hope everybody knows why P. Diddy is free, right? Now, the verdict went the way it did. What is the media not wanting you to know about right now? Because everybody is going to be talking about P. Diddy now, not what's going on in the world. So take it for what it is.
I cannot believe it. They have now reached a verdict on all the charges, and he has been acquitted of the most serious ones.
Wait, wasn't there some free Diddy person in the jury? I saw somebody talking about that. Like they openly made a statement. We're like, free Diddy, Diddy is a good guy, something. Was I getting messages from another dimension? Well, let's see.
The Lord of Lube wiggles his way out of it somehow, despite
Lord of Lube.
overwhelming evidence to support the allegations against P. Diddy.
Overwhelming evidence doesn't mean a shit in today's justice system. It has to do with the judge's feelings. If the judge's feelings isn't, well, I have a feeling that could be a little bit more, even though you have overwhelming evidence. I have experience. It's annoying.
About the decades worth of evil, criminal activities and actions he has done, terrorizing the music industry and so many individuals, it seems like the dawn of dildos is about to get away with a slap on the wrist. And maybe not even that much. He's been found guilty on two of the lesser
Lord of Lube and Dawn of Dildo.
charges, which could carry a maximum of 20 years in prison. But I've completely lost faith in the system here. I have to imagine this is all just now horseradish and barnacles. I think he will probably just get away with like 6 months probation or some shit.
5 counts. We have a mixed verdict here. Again, count 1 as it relates to racketeering, not guilty. Count 2 as it relates to sex trafficking, not guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, not guilty. Count 5, guilty.
Those 2 counts he was found guilty on, that was like Weenie Hut Jr. level charges compared to the rest, and it's something the defense, I imagine, was extremely
And that is what the media wants right now. Oh my God! Oh, it's so unfair. Diddy this, Diddy that. Nobody's talking about Israel. Nobody's talking about anything else.
pleased to have been found guilty on versus the rest. They were so happy, in fact, that reportedly P. Diddy even stood up and started clapping. Literally like a Tumblr fanfic. He stood up, started clapping, and then like his friends and family erupted
Everybody know that Diddy is an asset, right?
into applause. Now the judge is considering what bail should be, and we move on to the next stage, which will be the sentencing for these 2 charges, which carry a maximum of 10 years each. He's not going to be seeing the maximum. He probably won't even be seeing the minimum. They might just let him walk away with being forced to play League of Legends solo queue for like 2 months or something, and that'll be his punishment. It is such a fucking joke what just happened here. I actually still can't believe it. It is sickening. So I truly...
Well, this is just how the justice system has gone. This is the Western justice system. This is not unique to America. Like, this is Western justice system. It has nothing to do with facts or evidence or nothing. It's just, what are the feelings? What is society's feelings? What are the judge's feelings? Like, what the hell?
really wouldn't be surprised if he just fully walks free from this, and I guess we can expect the grand reopening of Puffy Flavor Camp. Everyone out
Where's
there,
my
sleep
chat
in
box?
fear. Make sure you're sleeping on your back, because if you sleep on your stomach, P. Diddy might just break into your
Yes.
house in the middle of the night and shove a dildo up your ass. It is still just so fucking unbelievable to me. I thought this was dead to rights. Not only because of the overwhelming evidence, but
Overwhelming evidence. I should bring out my old court case and just show it in writing. Like, even though you provided overwhelming evidence to support your case, my feelings were there could be just a little bit more to make it more overwhelming. I thought the word overwhelming just said itself. Nope. It's about feelings, buddy.
also, his team wasn't exactly a cohesive unit. Like, not that long ago, one of his big lawyers quit, saying he could no longer, under any circumstances, represent him, serve as a member of his council. And somehow, they were still able to squeak a win out from between.
I could just see it. That the lawyer is like looking at Diddy, like, what's up? He was like, fuck this, I'm out.
P. Diddy's greased butt cheeks here.
Exactly.
I don't know. Did they promise, like, freak off invitations to the jury? I have no clue. I don't get it. I really, truly do not understand how this just happened.
It's a mixed verdict, but it is a stunning victory for the defense. The Mann Act, these charges, these were the easiest for prosecutors to prove, the lowest hanging fruit, merely required showing that state lines were crossed for the purpose to engage in prostitution. We saw a lot of evidence on these charges, did not have that element, Laura, of force, fraud, or coercion. And this carries the lightest sentence of these charges. It is a maximum of 10 years. And keep in mind, when you're talking about maximums aren't the rule, they are the exception. They're for the most exceptional.
Like, what about? No, I'm not gonna get into it. There's just so much. But what about? But what about? But.
In severe cases. So now you're talking about a sentence that's potentially in the lower range with time served because he's been behind bars.
Yeah, again, he's definitely not seeing the maximum penalty for those charges. I would be surprised if he even saw the minimum. My guess would be
He is gonna get an ankle bracelet, go back to his villa, and order some more lube. That is exactly what is going to happen. Ankle bracelet, villa, lube, and secret freak-off parties. Has anybody thought about all the freak-off parties that happened at the Playboy house? Nobody's talking about the Playboy freak-offs. Everybody's talking about the Diddy freak-offs. The Playboy freak-offs. People are so fast to forget.
and of course I haven't passed the bar, so this is just fucking Neanderthal spitballing. My guess would be they'll weigh the time served behind bars throughout this case as like you've learned your lesson, and wiggle their finger, don't do it again, and give him some really light punishment, very, very light sentencing. And then when he's out on bail or full-blown walks free, I imagine baby oil will go extinct. And I predict that there will be a freak-off the likes of which the cosmos has never seen. It'll be filled with so much degeneracy that it will give birth to Slanesh in the warp in real life. It's going to be a Warhammer 40k event. It's just so fucking
Well, the Slanesh has been around for a long time, buddy. Where do you think the ideas of the freak-offs first came?
despicable, man. It really is.
The fact that these sex trafficking charges, specifically with respect to Cassie Ventura, means that the jury was convinced by the defense, at least with respect to reasonable doubt, that the commercial sex, i.e. the freak-offs, were not connected to some of this violence, that there was not that force, fraud, or coercion element. That is, by far, from a penalty perspective, the most serious. It carried a 15-year minimum. So that is a huge distinction.
Really feels like if you've got enough money, somehow a lot of those very serious, very well-documented things just never really seem to stick in court for some reason.
That is because evidence doesn't matter. Feelings matter. public opinion, being able to manipulate media. So everybody's now covering PDD and nobody was covering what was happening yesterday.
It's so weird how that works. It's so odd how we see
Yeah,
that happen so many
so
times.
weird. Yeah.
I don't know. Something seems a bit fishy there. From everything I've seen from a couple of lawyers discussing it,
I say the quiet part out loud, so don't worry.
the big thing here seems that the RICO charges weren't conveyed well enough for the jury to understand, and that it could have been like difficult in the first place as a potential overcharging on P. Diddy. So that was like an uphill battle. Obviously, I don't understand all the nuance to how that shit works in court, like how it all shakes down the fucking Rube Goldberg.
Oh, dude, this is the first time a case like this has ever been presented by a jury. I mean, of course they don't understand it.
Machine that
They weren't invited.
is arguing RICO charges. I'm not Saul Goodman. But outside of that, the lawyers also expressed how stunned they were that he was found not guilty on the sex trafficking by force and coercion. It seems like, at least from the lawyers that I've read and watched from, they were also very surprised that somehow the jury wasn't convinced on those. That one really did seem like a pretty big slam dunk in the case.
This is also a little bit interesting regarding this system in America where you have jurors deciding instead of evidence and law. Why don't you have a system where evidence and the law those reign supreme, not people's feelings? Anyway.
Case, like, at least most sane human beings would think so, but somehow it didn't stick. Somehow it didn't shake out that way.
It also has to do with how many people on that jury really wanted to be in those freak-ups. Yeah.
To be found not guilty on those is baffling. Actually baffling. And I went to a live stream where some lawyers were talking, and reading the chat, it will make you lose all possible faith that there's real people online. There are so many people that are elated.
No, that is exactly the problem. But people you think are NPCs or are just these has to be bots. That is just how actual people are. That is just the real saddest thing about it. The level of awareness that people do not have about themselves or anything around them is mind-blowing.
Celebrating that P. Diddy is free and saying he should go as far as suing the government for the charges they brought against him. Unironically,
I'm telling you, it was so unfair.
I saw someone donate saying, does P. Diddy have a case against the government to sue them for this? Holy shit. What? I don't know
I
how
hope
so many people...
Oh, like, there has to be a season 2, come on. Like, you can't just end it on season 1 as it is.
People have been poisoned by stupidity. Like an action, there must be some kind of hole in the ozone layer that's letting pure concentrated stupid come through, and it is just destroying neurons at an alarming rate. Such an unfortunate outcome. There's a lot of people that are now going to need to be looking over their shoulder here with this P. Diddy verdict. One of them being a bodyguard who said if P. Diddy walks, he's going to need to go into hiding. I think that's not an exaggeration. He most likely will, in order to stay alive. This is...
P. Diddy's father was an old school drug kingpin or some big guy. And given the time that P. Diddy's father was doing it, it was doing with like these CIA assets that were supposed to funnel drugs into various communities in America. Isn't P. Diddy a legacy asset? Like, he's the second generation of when it all started. Of course, he's protected. He is a legacy asset.
This is a dangerous man with an extremely well-recorded history of horrible shit he has done, who is now getting let off very easily here. Now, if you're a sane, sensible person, you're probably pretty angered by the outcome, but we don't live in a world where everyone's sane and sensible. There is a not small group of people, the free Diddy drones, that are very, very pleased. They're very excited that P. Diddy is going to be most likely.
It's the groupies. The ones that want to be invited to the party when he gets out. Hey, I supported you throughout the trial. Give me an invite. I want to be covered in lube.
Likely getting let off super, super easily. They are elated right now, these fucking weirdos. They're acting like they're part of the crew, part of the ship, like they'll get the invite to the next freak off. And they are so happy. Fucking weirdos out there. It's crazy how anyone can view this as anything other than a disaster. A fucking trap.
Beautiful disaster, my man. Beautiful disaster. This is a train wreck that people are going to be talking about for days. So there is nothing to talk about anything else.
Travesty, where the justice system just failed so many people. Yeah, I'll stop ranting and raving about it. That's really about it.
Once you start going through any logic, your brain just is like, no, 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 no. You get so frustrated, you have no idea what you're doing. It's so illogical. All right, let's see what other people are saying.
The question, did he do it? I don't think anybody could have predicted this.
Going from Charlie to Asman, it is such a different mind. So I'm going to enjoy to see what he has to say.
But somehow the answer seems to be no.
Crossing on the wires right now, Sean Diddy Combs is found not guilty on the racketeering conspiracy charge in this federal case. The verdict on the 4 remaining counts are not read yet.
No fucking way.
Here's another alert. Combs found not guilty in
No
the sex
fucking
trafficking
way.
of his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Here's
Bro.
another one. Combs found, okay, so this is count 2 now. Combs found guilty
Yep.
of transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs found
Which is
not
like, that's nothing. Oh, driving a hoe around? Fuck, I've done that.
Who hasn't driven a hoe around?
guilty of sex trafficking, and that applies to the girlfriend who went by the pseudonym as the name Jane.
Okay.
And CB, I'll bring
See, the problem with these people that came on the stand, you knew what you were getting yourself into. You knew you were going to get paid. You knew it was you were going to get railed. Like, people going there already knew. That's the legal defense that they will always protect themselves with, knowing what a freak of party is. It's like when LeBron James, whatever his name is, ain't nothing like a Diddy party. Ah. Everybody knew, you know. So when you know and you try to come after the fact, it's like, oh my God, it was so terrible. I was abused. Like, yeah, you walked into the room yourself, knowingly you were going to be abused. And that is why the jury, with their feelings, couldn't convict.
you in. I just want to read one more alert here because some of this seems to be a bit of a duplicate as it's coming in. Combs found guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution with the former girlfriend who I just mentioned as Jane. So those are 5 quick alerts that just came up on the Reuters wire, and we're awaiting more from inside the courtroom as we speak.
Whoever his lawyer is,
The CIA.
I feel like that guy can quadruple his rate and still have that shit be on sale. Like, that dude is like, that's some fucking, what's that dude? That guy's name? Oh my God. That's not even Saul Goodman. That's like fucking Ace. This is some Ace Attorney shit.
If you can't figure out the lawyers, you know it's the government or a secret. Blah blah.
Does that line up, CB, with what you have down there at court?
Oh, this is nuts.
Bill, so what I'm looking at, count 1 through 5, the only count that I see that Diddy has been found guilty.
Wait. Who is Johnny Cochran? No way. That's Diddy's lawyer. No.
Even I know who that is.
No way. It's not. It was. I think that
CIA.
this is from back in the day. Like, this photo
Thank you.
was taken in 1994, okay? He dead? Then it's probably not him.
Johnny Cochran used to defend Diddy because Johnny Cochran was Diddy's handler.
It's probably
is
not
count
him.
3, transportation to engage in prostitution as it pertains to Diddy's ex-girlfriend and accuser, Cassie Ventura. The other 4 counts I am seeing. Excuse me, let me backpedal a little bit, you guys. This is all breaking in. We're dealing with rolling thunder out here. So I'm seeing Diddy has been found guilty on 2 counts. The transportation to engage in prostitution counts.
I don't care about that.
The only counts he has been found guilty of are the transportation to engage in prostitution. And I want to say that comes with a possible prison sentence of 10 years in prison, and we're working to learn more. But
See, they're using possible, maybe, whatever, what if, possibly, possible. Media, please stop using these words. Speak in facts.
there is a crowd gathered here outside the courtroom. I'm not sure who is among this crowd, but Bill and Dana, I know you've been watching the trial closely, and you know there are a slew of Diddy supporters out here who have come every single day. It looks
Bro,
like...
I cannot believe that they were actually... I cannot believe he might actually walk. This is insane that all of these guys are right. Holy fuck.
What appears to be one of Diddy's supporters.
This is also a very good commercial. Like, if you're a reliable asset, life is not going to be that hard for you if you get busted.
Is out here in front of the courthouse explaining to cameras perhaps why he believes his someone he supports was
not
vindicated
guilty
of the most serious charge, racketeering conspiracy.
All right, I'm going to do some more research on this. I'll be back on the stream later today. I have to go to the gym.